It's a duck, I think, right? Is that a goose? Yes.
That's good.
Alright, they didn't have water droplets, and my computer wasn't connected to the internet, so that's what I do. So I'm going to talk about a class I took freshman year, and it was called World Without Water. It was taught by Dr. Spradley, and I am Sean Carney, before I forget to introduce myself. The course content, it was pretty straightforward. It was about how we're going to run out of fresh water someday, possibly. You only had one book, and it was a pretty good book to read. It was about India and the population boom and their struggle with water and how that might come over to North America in a couple hundred years. The course was pretty much dedicated to one big group project, kind of like this one, and it deals blah, blah, blah. One thing I really liked about this course is when I was in Washington, D.C. a few weeks ago for a geography conference, I heard a quote from a professor, and it was, he wanted to take his students from I know to I care to I'll do something. And this is one of the few classes I've ever had that actually changed me to I know about the water crisis to I care to now I'll do something. And I liked that. The big group project was pretty sweet. It was, we'd have class twice a week. In the first class, we usually watched a movie or got lectured by the professor. And then on Thursday, we'd always have group time in the class to work on our project. It was a good intro to college work. You got used to the atmosphere. You got used to working with your peers. Yep, that's all that for it. The professor was great. She always makes, it always makes the class better when the professor is into the class and cares about the subject and cares about the students. And I still see her around all the time. Every now and then when I give tours, she'll like come right into my tour group and talk to my tour. And like it's awesome to give that impression to a tour when the professor knows your name out in the outside. Okay. And then realizations I took from this class was it made me really appreciate tapped water. And a lot of people come up here and they complain about drinking tap water, or they won't drink the water from a sink in the bathroom. And it made me really understand that we're lucky to have tap water that we can drink. And now that I'm aware of the water crisis. And overall, I'm really glad I took the class. It wasn't too difficult, but it's not a guaranteed A. You had to show up. If you listened, if you read, did your work, you were all set. And I would suggest it to everybody. And what do you do now? So don't go back to your room because you all have computers here, but I need everybody to log into their My Plymouth, drop one of the classes you guys just signed up for, and then sign up for that one. Deal?
Yeah. I haven't signed up for classes.
You might want to get on that. I think it closes soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, they're doing it tomorrow.
So definitely, freshman class, was it a,
It was an FYS. Freshman year seminar.
oh, okay, oh, it was a freshman.
What team do you
And other grades can take those though, right? Even though they're called.
I believe so.
Is it a self-insert?
I'm not too sure.
Is it?
There was one thing that I wanted to ask, can you go back your slides for a sec?
Yep.
I know. And maybe it was something that you said, there was just something that I wanted to ask you. And now I'm forgetting.
Yeah, it was.
I had a specific question that was sort of like historical, and I think it was on something you said right after you were talking about India. I mean, she spent a lot of time talking specifically on the difficulties in India and what they've done.
No, but the book she talked about everything, but the book we had was all about India, and it was about the Coca-Cola plants, like clearing all the waste down there, and all the sludge, and all the groundwater running out.
But they turned around and had to correct a lot of that, right? Or is it still in bad
No,
shape?
it's still in pretty rough
Oh,
shape.
it is, okay, all right. Is everybody fully aware of what's going on in the Gulf? I suspect you are. Everybody paying attention to this?
Yeah.
Supposedly there might be a third one exploding up now that is going to increase, and it's getting so close to the coast.
Florida.
Um,
Yeah, I saw in the news this morning that it might make landfall tomorrow.
Right,
What is this?
but now,
There's a gigantic oil spill.
it's so critical to the next few years because we are just gonna be suffering from this as soon as that hits land, because it's gonna hit the marshes. And it's
In the
gonna totally
Everglades.
corrupt the
It's an
oyster
action
crop
plan.
It's gonna
this
take
year,
4 weeks
and
to
it's,
clean up.
pardon me?
It's gonna take 4 weeks to
It's
clean
gonna
up.
take 40 years to clean up, but
2 to 4
it's
weeks
the
to
way
get
they,
it all out of there.
right,
It's-
well,
We had an oil spill in, I don't know if you're familiar with that mess.
yeah.
Well, we had a pretty bad oil spill down there a few years ago. You still walk on the beach and get.
And you still get the oil, right? Yeah, no, I do remember that. And obviously the Valdez is the biggest one in history. Some people were saying this one will not be that big, but now that they've found a third leak down on the ocean, it could really be absolutely massive. It looks like they're gonna pull in the federal government to help clean it up. They can't get enough people, they're not getting enough support
I thought they already pulled in the
Um,
federal government.
from BP. Pardon me?
Didn't they already pull in the government?
They haven't to some of the work that is gonna have to be done.
Yeah, but they just had
I think there's some there that's done some of the guidance and so forth, but it looks like they may have some
Didn't they?
So this is fresh water, but it still is the overall problems of water that we have, so.
This class focused, yeah, mostly on freshwater
Right.
because we drink it.
So you're saying, when you said the one line about tapped water, I mean, you basically are saying because in most other parts of the country, there's no, of the world, there's no such thing.
Yeah, I
And
just,
that's why, even though we don't always like the flavor, we know that it's governed, it has to be safe, and so we're very lucky in that.
I'm just really against buying water in this country. I think it's
Yeah.
really stupid that
Does
we
anybody
pay for
else
water.
cringe like I do when they go to the grocery store and just
It's a waste
see
of money.
cases and cases of we've convinced everybody to drink water, and then we're absolutely ruining the entire universe, not even just by having, by the way that we sell it.
I was given a water bottle yesterday that was literally this big and like the size of a quarter around. And it probably wasted like a gallon of water to make that container to hold like what, a pint, a shot glass of water. Makes no sense.
Like, it's a tough one, but we gotta, now that we've convinced everybody to drink water, we've gotta convince everyone not to buy bottled
Well,
water.
it's people who convince them to drink water are the people who are selling the bottled water.
Pardon me?
The people who convince people to drink water are the people selling the bottled
Well,
water.
clearly, that's the way it is now, but in the beginning, it was more of, it was, there were different forces, like there often are. But